Alright, time to start approaching Gaea's cliff. This chase, which has begun already at the... well, right at the very beginning of the game. Right at the, you could say, at Shinra headquarters in quite early of the game, is about to get its close to end. And this, well, luckily the Mr. Climber has marked some routes, so it's not that complex to get forward. And they made a really big screen to scroll with you, just to emphasize how bloody high and unpleasant this part of how dangerous this Gaea's cliff is to climb. And there's nothing to worry but luckily it's also has caves in it, not just horrifying climbing with this very dour music with some puzzle elements in it, and monsters, of course, always monsters, and some weird ass bat things which I'm gonna hopefully get rid of quite quickly. Yeah, they got some bloodsack moves. Death blow, the Chocobo Morg summon. It's quite common that the first summon you can get in the Final Fantasy game is Chocobo. And it also has the benefit of stopping the enemies, making them really easily killed. Well, that was the first fight. And even with this low polygon count character models, you can still see that Tifa is deservedly a hottie. Oh, I was saying that Tifa is a hot tier. Yeah, long legs and a big rack. Simple as that, character design wise. But the fact that she's also in a sense very compassionate and gentle personality adds to that. Oh, a rock. Kick it. Roundhouse kick. Oh, and it's gonna rumble down. Oh, there. Go this weird path. Break paths open. And fall off the cliff. Yay, open the path. Yeah, these... Oh, what? Yeah, sometimes. Oh yes, I was speaking about these bit of hiding places which hide your character. They are quite. They can be a bit of annoying especially if you don't know where to go. But generally, you could say that they are not so bad. Oh, yeah, yes. Oh, my mind break. It was about the. Places where your character is hidden. They are usually not bad, but they may get annoying. Generally, you could say that the gameplay of Final Fantasy VII is not particularly difficult. There are some gimmicky thingies, of course, but more generally you could say that the gameplay is quite simple. Not complex at all. Go right. And these places, despite how your character seems to be going, you have to keep pressing the same direction you actually are going. Because if you are not, well, it goes to hell. And I missed the wrong direction. Yeah, they are quite annoying can be these places. Up. Yeah, and these cliffs are very unpleasant and inhospitable. Hypothermia would strike fast, but if it would actually be striking in just in a matter of minutes, this place would be so cold that the air would be quite liquid actually. The hydrogen itself would be most likely be transformed into liquid state and raining there. So instead of ice, they would be ice. It would be water ice. Yeah, about the cold things. That if the air would be so cold that it's actually would make you hypothermia in few minutes, there would have to be you'd either have to be in water close to sub-zero temperatures, because water has excellent thermal conductivity properties, and the fact that it has bloody huge heat capacity, which makes it very efficient cooling and or heating source or method of transferring heat. So it's time to actually save now. Yep, I did the save and some preparations, and looks like there's a path forward and a monstrosity, and I wonder... Nope, it ain't. When it was a matter of those monster thingies, I assumed it might be one of the staples of Final Fantasy game series, a very dangerous bastard enemy called Marlboro, and I still am not meeting it. Well, once the Marlboro might appear, I might be able to tell by exactly why it's so bloody dangerous. Well, if I don't run into Marlboro here, I don't, and this is actually quite interesting looking room. Those big ice chunks are actually forced fighting encounters with the special enemy called Icicle. And I'm just gonna use the old-fashioned method of summon the most unpleasant thing in the planet to kill them. Assuming I get a chance to do so. Yes, I do. But I didn't, because they had silenced the Barret, and well, the basic limit break should be quite able to cause them damage. And a suplex to a flying thing, face down, and a big shot to the thingamajiggery. Well, this will finish them off. And once you defeated them, very ominous cracks to the ice thing. I don't know why you would have to beat an ice thing in a battle, but hey, that's just a game. Some loot. And actually, let's just jump down to see what it does. More fighting against these. Jumping down reveals that these ice things hit the ground and make the water go up in here but to open a path, so I guess I have to return back. There's no point of going here before the oil have dropped all the ice chunks, so I'm going back up, returning here once I have done so. So I'll see you then. I might show how Marlboro works if I get a chance, but most likely no. Well, actually I did get a chance to show Marlboro. It attacks two ways, either blowing out these frozen beams, which are not particularly dangerous by themselves, and I'm hoping it would use the most fearsome and perhaps one of the most feared attacks in the whole Final Fantasy games. It is called Bad Breath. Come on! Yeah, I know you have frozen beam, yes, and it does ice damage, cold damage. It ain't so impressive, even though it might be a good, in a sense, good way to grind yourself some limit break uses. Well, always when you are doing that, well, there's a counter punching to your skull. And you are stupid as you spew your beam towards somebody who is not even hurt by it. Come on, use it. Yes, that is. Bad breath. It makes every status ailment in a game, which usually means horrifying death, except Cloud has ribbon, which makes him immune to them. So, meaning, but it can't do shit with the bad breath attack. So now it just goes to the smacking it down with regular attacks. Because that's all it can do. It can just only spew the frozen beam and bad breath has proven itself quite ineffective. And it goes down. Actually, I think it might go down from next strike, or if it doesn't, well, broke down the icicles and getting into a fight again. I actually noticed that in this game, it's quite annoying to try to make a good commentary when your train of thought, or whatever is the fancy word, gets broken down because game decides to throw a random fight at you. Well, that must be a weapon to Cloud, so time to go up here. But I must say that the graphical style they got to this game really shows how cold there is in these mountains. Oh, and one more Marlboro to slaughter. Like that. It went down quite nicely. Marlboros, I can't remember, was it? It must have been at least Final Fantasy IV which brought Marlboros out first time. But that path of course led here. Back to the Gaea's Cliff. Absolute iceland of death, pain, doom, suffering and unpleasantness. Up here, I really can't remember the route, but these big screens of very inhospitable places are that which really sells how good Final Fantasy, good graphic style Final Fantasy VII has. You cannot actually really show how high something is without actually being able to scroll through it. If you could just show separate screens, of course you could design the screens to be so that they would in a sense continue each other, but it still wouldn't give the same kind of feeling of absolute height. So it's one more saving spot here. That's of course save the progress and getting forward. What's that? Some sort of thing in a black robe. Getting and a fight just before a boss fight. That was annoying. About millisecond before boss fight, because that music tells of a boss fight. Look scary and prepare to face the boss, which is a scary Hydra-like thing, which should go down quite efficiently actually with the couple of limit breaks I already have in my disposal. And generally you could say that the both heads use different kind of attacks. The other one spews fire, and the other one spews ice attacks at you. Let's put the regen on. Gradual health increase, which is very handy. And it can produce a lot of boss. Let's see what its name is. Schizo can do a lot of damage if it aims the same character twice in a row. So, and of course when there's two of them, it can produce a lot of damage. But this attack is quite random. And a suplex again to a big huge monster. A big fat ugly body, and it stomps the ground to do quake attack. And keep spraying fire at it. Some basic cure magics just to enhance, do some, make the basics. Actually, I think it's time to bring out the big god. Having haste, regen, and both magic and basic damage protection, even though it's quite short enduring, is quite a good deal. And now it's spewed both fires at. Yeah, it's getting angrier. So is it stompy? It's stomping the ground, causing quite a lot of damage with that earth attack. Now it spews fire at Cloud, but that doesn't do much damage. Did it? Oh yeah, it's a left side head which spews ice, and right side head spews fire. Oh, Comet should do quite a lot of damage. That's one of the most powerful attacks of this game. Or at least magic attacks. Yeah, I think that one died. Actually, no, it didn't. And it's very recommendable for you to concentrate your attacks on the one half of the monster first, because when it dies, it's gonna give you that big damage causing attack, and you don't wanna get two of them in a row. Pop the regen and keep wailing at it, the remaining left head. And knowing that, I think that if there is a two-headed thing and it would lose its one remaining head, it would get the other head would also be in difficult. Oh, and it beats stuff twice in a row, or 3 times. It's getting angry, or maybe it's just that it sprays fire at. Oh yeah, it just keeps spraying that same shit all over again. Punches, flips, big kicks, and a suplex to a big thing which already has lost one head. Did it have enough? No, it didn't have enough. It's still going around, stomping the ground. Well, a cure magic will finish that off, and I think the meteor rain will very finish it off. That kind of storm of damage should be enough to make it blow up. Yeah, it dies and it threw out its final attack. And that wasn't actually really quite... It was quite unpleasant, yes, but nothing which cannot be handled before. So it's time to actually pull a little bit back and save, but first let's see what's out here. We're quite much near the edge of the cliff, and I'll be back right here. Getting here and climbing up very slowly and methodically for something dramatic. And this is one of the great moments in this game. There's this cliff and we're just at the edge of it and climbing through it, walking to the edge to see something. Northern Crater. Now that's big. They really can show how big that is. And this is where Genoa came to the planet. Calamity from the Skies. If something is called Calamity from the Skies, and there's so much of these fights in here against all kinds of weird critters, like bombs. So much of these random encounters. Fuck! Just what I was saying. Well, except this one is a big ugly one, so time to show it actually how this thing works. It's a giant, big giant, it lopes about you. It wears a loincloth, wear it and has a top knot and wristlets. Where it gets them, I don't know. Well, it just... That's quite overly slow, but it seems to be it's big, it's slow, it's although you could say that giants could actually be really big, and it goes down actually pretty easily, which is good. It's much more scarier looking than it is scary. Those bomb monsters are much more scarier. But this rock formation should actually be more like opposite. The rocks should be pushing away from the impact zone. Yes, that scene implies that Tifa is compulsory party member in this place. But those jagged rock formations are still very impressive, and men in black capes are here. They don't look well. And a new materia as well, Neo Bahamut. So of course it's time to save actually and see how things are faring. And time to keep up. I just did a save, and there's a new material gained, Neo Bahamut. Well, but still time to get going. But to what's very and what's this? Oh, Shinra is here. Mostly because they've had an airship, they didn't have to do it footwork, they could fly. And they had a HC to actually work as some kind of navigational beacon. So yeah, they got the cheat. So they are finding the promised land, and they found Hojo as well. And Genoa reunion is about to happen, and it's actually time to end this episode right here, mostly because there's lots of plot happening, and I don't want this episode stretching too long. So see ya next time.